All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to EMPM. That stands for Engineering Major Philosophy Minor, the channel where you can get a working aerospace engineer's opinions on topics pertaining to engineering, philosophy, politics, and various other cultural and social issues. This is going to be the third and final video that I filmed tonight, Wednesday, November 17th, 2021. Let's go ahead and just get straight into the topic, which has to do again with climate related stuff, but it's more Joe Biden just kind of flipping back and forth. You know, it's like he thinks that he's going to save the planet with renewables, so he wants the Build Back Better thing, which has the Green New Deal, and then he goes and flies all the way over to wherever it was to have the climate summit on his, on Air Force One or whatever. And then he comes back here and he gets his, his stupid stimulus package, which has like a bunch of green climate related stuff and national broadband and all this other crap. And then he bans. Meanwhile, gas prices are skyrocketing, energy prices are skyrocketing. He wants to shut down another pipeline. We were energy independent, and he screwed with that. Now he's trying to go demand that OPEC produces more oil. And it's like we wouldn't need foreign oil if we just stayed energy independent, but whatever. And then he bans some kind of oil and gas like drilling site on Native American lands to try and appease two parts of the intersectional coalition, which is the climate people and the environmentalists and the Native Americans. And then all of a sudden he turns around and says, oh, wait, but we actually like need oil. So we're just going to like apportion this part of federal land, which is going to produce a ton of oil, which look, like I'm happy about that. We got to drill for this stuff, right? I mean, from the conservative perspective, that's a good thing. But, I just wanted to make a quick video and talk about, this. Here's the thing is, this is the dangerous game that Democrats always play. And it's not just that Democrats play. It's any time that you just lick your finger and, test which way the wind is blowing and then go in the direction that you think is most popular and the direction that you think has the most following, like it's normally going to come to bite you. And so now Joe Biden's getting all this crap from people for this oil stuff from the environmentalists, and people are, waking up and being like, oh, hang on a second, like, this isn't like the green, good old green Joe Biden, jolly green giant that we thought that we were bargaining for. And it's like, guys, There's a reason why Joe Biden and his administration are doing this, right? It's because they know that the green agenda just doesn't work. Okay? Like, meanwhile, while we're trying to build all these nice windmills and solar panels and all this stuff that the environmentalists want, you need energy to produce that stuff, and you need energy to transport that stuff, and you need energy to do literally everything else that we do. And the most efficient way that we know of to produce that energy from an energy density kind of chemistry point of view is fossil fuels at the moment, or nuclear energy, which is, I guess, arguably a form of fossil fuel because it's, buried beneath the earth, and it's not an organic compound, I guess, so to speak, though. So that's why it's not a fossil fuel. But these are the most efficient, most bang for the buck ways that we can do it. And like solar and wind just doesn't work for a majority of the other applications that we need. And by the way, solar and wind are not even really that great at electricity generation. I mean, it just must be such a bummer to like be disenfranchised as a Democrat and be like, oh, Joe Biden's going to like do all this amazing green stuff. And then he gets there and he realizes himself, or at least the administration, like, crap, this doesn't work and we have to do something about gas prices. And even the environmentalists are complaining about how high gas prices is, except what they think is that the government can just spend more money and the problem will go away. And it's like, no, the government will spend more money and the problem will stay there, And then in terms of the Native American stuff, look, if you are somebody who, is a prominent figure and bureaucrat in, and you're in the Native American community, and you're interested in your land value going up, and your constituents being developed, and being able to work close by, and having an incentive for educational institutions to come in there and start developing, man, you want that. I mean, wouldn't you want that oil and gas development? I mean, maybe it's going to be an eyesore in like a small little area of the land that you have, but I mean, again, guys, it's always a trade-off. It's like, maybe it's going to be an eyesore, but it's going to bring so much economic development to your region that maybe you won't have such huge problems with crime and drug abuse, and just other issues in those areas if you just allow them to develop, you know? And the fact that the federal government is barring this, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a big percentage of the Native American population is like, wait, hang on a second, like, is this going to make gas cheaper? Like, we should do that. Is this going to make energy to heat our homes cheaper? We should do that. Like, is this going to allow a job where I don't have to drive like 40 miles out of the way to just like go earn a living? Like, why are we turning that down? I mean, and the thing is that this political game, this dangerous political game, gets played with so many different things. I mean, the climate stuff, racial stuff, gender stuff. I mean, all this stuff, it's like when push comes to shove, most of it just doesn't work. And so then you're trapped in a position because you either keep going in the direction that doesn't work, and stuff keeps getting all messed up for everybody, or you have to go back on your entire reason for being in office in the first place, which is what's happening to Joe Biden, and you just put yourself in a lose-lose situation. So if I can just sum up here really fast, guys, be your own individual person, do the research, and come up with your own opinions and your own arguments and your own thought processes of how you look at all these different issues. Like, don't just like go along with like what's popular and swim with the school of fish, because the school of fish can go in the wrong direction. Then you're just going to trap yourself, and all of a sudden you got to swim against all the other fish, and you're just lying to yourself, eventually. So guys, just wanted to make a quick video talking about Joe Biden just kind of just flopping around all over the deck, like a fish out of water when it comes to this, like, climate related and fossil fuel stuff. It's like, they know that it doesn't work. Like, they know, whether or not they saw it just now or they've always known it and they were just trying to go along with, people screaming about environmental stuff just to get votes. It was probably just to get votes. They realize it's not going to work, guys. So much of our economy is dependent on fossil fuels. And you might say, well, why is the economy, you're so obsessed with the economy and money. No, the economy is your livelihood, all right? It's your work, it's your house, all the things that allow you to lead the, first world problem style life that you have, There's a reason why you go to Starbucks and you have coffee ready in 10 minutes and you only pay, well, Starbucks is really expensive, but there's a reason why there's a dollar store where you can just go get stuff for $1, right? There's a reason why, well, it's not the dollar store anymore because of inflation, but you get the idea, right? There's a reason why there's all this stuff, that I have a pot for this cactus, and I have computers here with parts, and I have the water bottle and a phone and all this stuff. Guys, that's because we utilize the most efficient energy source that we could, and we accept the trade-off that if we want stuff like this, we're going to have to sacrifice a little bit somewhere else. And that might be in terms of a little bit of pollution. That might be in terms of CO2, whatever. But there's always going to be a trade-off, okay? And what has happened is that the government promises you that there's no trade-off. And it's like, well, there is a trade-off. It's never a trade-off for the government, because the government always gets your and my money to go spend on pet projects. And believe me, being working in the industry that I do, you definitely get firsthand experience with seeing how wasteful this can be sometimes. So just, do your research and come with your own opinion. But I don't know. Let me know what you think about Joe Biden flip-flopping in the comments below. I mean, I think you ought to be pretty disenfranchised at this point if you're an environmentalist and you voted Democrat. Um, and By the way, though, I would encourage you, if you're an environmentalist, to take a look at the conservative positions and philosophies. I'm trying to get another book. What's the guy's name? Matt Schoenberger? I don't know. That doesn't sound right, but he recently wrote the book, or he's working on the book San Francisco. But then there's another one. Apocalypse Never. I'm trying to go read this book. Also, The Moral Case for Fossil Fuels by Alex Epstein is a really excellent read if you want some more knowledge to influence what your ultimate opinion is of this stuff. But do the research and think about this. And the next time that you go vote, here's my opinion of Joe Biden, okay? I don't think Joe Biden believes a word that he's saying, and I don't think he even knows what he's saying half the time at this point. But he doesn't really believe in anything. What I like so much about Trump is you might hate the way that he talked and you might say that he lied all the time, but it was like everything that he said, he actually believed. He wasn't just saying things to score political points with anybody. He was saying things because he's like, well, this is how I feel, like it or not, right? You make the choice whether or not you like it. I'm just saying, we need to be energy independent. I'm just saying, I want to control the border. That's what I believe. That's what I'm going to do. And so then it was very easy for him to act in accordance with that plan, because even though he got all this opposition, it's like what he believed to be correct. And at the end of the day, if you didn't believe him to be correct and it got done anyway, well, tough luck, right? But I would just feel crappy if I was like, oh, Joe Biden really believes in this, and that, and he really believes in this, and then he just has to go back on all of it because it's wrong. And because he didn't really believe it in the first place. It's like, what? Well, what's going on, dude? Why are you doing all this? So, kind of a win that we're going to get some more fossil fuel production in the U.S., but man, God, geez, I just feel bad for all the Democrats who really had faith that they were going to change the world, and then now you realize it doesn't work, and your guy is just going back. Trump did that too, I guess, especially with the bump stock ban and stuff like that for Second Amendment. But I would say that that's relatively minor versus vital energy production in the U.S. Anyway. That is going to be the final video of the night. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.